is Amelia Bedelia's family album. Amelia Bedelia, says Mrs. Rogers, you have been here a long time. Oh, Mrs. Rogers, said Amelia Bedelia, are you tired of me? Of course not, said Mrs. Rogers. We want to have a party for you. We want to meet your family. Wow, now that is nice, said Amelia Bedelia. Who would you like to invite? Asked Mrs. Rogers. I'll get my family album, said Amelia Bedelia. You can help me decide. Good idea, said Mr. Rogers. Amelia Bedelia got her album. This is my daddy, said Amelia Bedelia. He's a telephone operator. Then he helps people make calls, said Mr. Rogers. He does not, said Amelia Bedelia. He operates on telephones. I see, said Mr. Rogers. This is my mama, said Amelia Bedelia. She's a loafer. You mean she does nothing? Said Mrs. Rogers. Certainly not, said Amelia Bedelia. She works hard. She makes dough into loaves of bread. That's what a loafer does. I see, said Mrs. Rogers. This is Uncle Albert, said Amelia Bedelia. He's a big game hunter. You mean he kills animals? Asked Mrs. Rogers. Why would he do that? Said Amelia Bedelia. He hunts big games. He has one so big, it takes up a whole room. I see, said Mrs. Rogers. Next is Aunt Mary, said Amelia Bedelia. She is a bank teller. Then she cashes people's checks, said Mr. Rogers. No, said Amelia Bedelia. She tells everybody in the bank where to go. Some folks don't like that. I see, said Mr. Rogers. This is Cousin Calvin, said Amelia Bedelia. He's a boxer. Does he win any matches? Said Mrs. Rogers. Amelia Bedelia looked puzzled. Matches? She said. Why would he win matches? A boxer packs boxes. He gets paid money. I see, said Mrs. Rogers. Cousin Edward is a horse racer, said Amelia Bedelia. Oh, he's a jockey, said Mr. Rogers. I don't think so, said Amelia Bedelia. Cousin Edward races horses. He almost won once, but he tripped and fell. I see, said Mr. Rogers. Uncle Ned is a cook, said Amelia Bedelia. He works in a hotel. Then he's a chef, said Mrs. Rogers. No, said Amelia Bedelia. He's a doorman. His name is Ned Cook. I see, said Mrs. Rogers. Uncle Dan takes pictures, said Amelia Bedelia. What kind of pictures does he take? Asked Mr. Rogers. Any kind, said Amelia Bedelia. You really have to watch him. He will take every picture. The house. I see, said Mr. Rogers. Cousin Bea has a fun job, said Amelia Bedelia. She balances checkbooks. I wish she would balance mine, said Mrs. Rogers. She will, said Amelia Bedelia. She can balance 20 at one time. I see, said Mrs. Rogers. My brother Ike wants an orange grove, said Amelia Bedelia. But he had bad luck. How is that? asked Mr. Rogers. He orders orange trees, said Amelia Bedelia, but they all come out green. I see, said Mr. Rogers. This is poor cousin Chester, said Amelia Bedelia. He's a printer. What does he print? asked Mrs. Rogers. Everything, said Amelia Bedelia. We could never teach him proper writing. I see, said Mrs. Rogers. Cousin Carla's a bookkeeper, said Amelia Bedelia. She must be good at numbers, said Mr. Rogers. No, said Amelia Bedelia, but she's good at keeping books. She never returns one. I see, said Mr. Rogers. Cousin Ella works at clay, said Amelia Bedelia. Is she a potter? asked Mrs. Rogers. I don't know any potters, said Amelia Bedelia. Ella and her husband Clay have a bakery, said Amelia Bedelia. I see, said Mrs. Rogers. Uncle Alf is a garbage collector, said Amelia Bedelia. That's smelly work, said Mr. Rogers. It sure is, said Amelia Bedelia. All of his neighbors moved away. I see, said Mr. Rogers. Cousin Suzanne belongs to a fan club, said Amelia Bedelia. Are there many fans in her club? asked Mr. Rogers. Oh, yes, said Amelia Bedelia. You never saw so many different kinds of fans. I see, said Mr. Rogers. My niece Lulu stuffs olives, said Amelia Bedelia. Does she stuff pimento in the middle, asked Mrs. Rogers. No, said Amelia Bedelia. She stuffs olives into herself. I see, said Mrs. Rogers. The last picture is of Ollie, said Amelia Bedelia. He's my nephew. Ollie is our catcher. What does he catch? asked Mr. Rogers. Everything, said Amelia Bedelia. Measles, mumps, colds, whatever comes along, Ollie catches it. One unusual family, said Mrs. Rogers. Yes, said Mr. Rogers. Invite all of them to the party. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. She left the room. In a bit she came back. They will be here tomorrow, she said. Tomorrow? said Mrs. Rogers. We can't get everything ready by then. What's to get ready? asked Amelia Bedelia. Food, said Mr. Rogers. Now, Mr. Rogers, said Amelia Bedelia, my folks know about parties. They will bring the food, said Amelia Bedelia. But Amelia Bedelia, says Rogers, will there be enough food for everybody? Everybody, said Amelia Bedelia. I hadn't thought of inviting everybody. What a good idea. She ran outside. Here, here, she shouted. A party tomorrow? Everybody come! And everybody came. The end. What's your favorite part of the story? My favorite part of the story is when Mr. Rogers and Mrs. Rogers found out that her niece Lulu does not stuff things into olives. She stuffs olives into herself. Amelia Bedelia by the yard. Amelia Bedelia and her parents were coming home from the park. They drove by a sign. Amelia Bedelia's mother shouted, "Pull over, pull over! Garage sale!" Amelia Bedelia looked out her window. She did not see a pullover sweater. She did see a lot of stuff for sale. All the stuff was spread out in someone's front yard. Amelia Bedelia's mother jumped out of the car. "Mom loves garage sales," said Amelia Bedelia's father. "Is she buying a new garage?" asked Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia's father shook his head. "No, but we could use another garage just to hold all the stuff she buys at garage sales," he said. Amelia Bedelia's mother brought back 2 treasures. She handed a book to Amelia Bedelia. She tossed a sweater to Amelia Bedelia's father. "It's a pullover," she said. "Is that the one you saw from the car?" said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia's father had already pulled the sweater over his head. "Did you hear about the big garage sale next Saturday?" he said. "Where?" asked Amelia Bedelia's mother. "At our house," he said. "Let's get rid of our clutter. We need to wear out." For the next week, Amelia Bedelia and her parents sorted through the things they had not used in years. By Saturday, they were ready for their very own garage sale. Except for one thing, Amelia Bedelia was not happy with their sign. "You can't sell our garage," said Amelia Bedelia. Where will our car sleep? Plus, the garage matches our house." "Oh, honey," said Amelia Bedelia's mother, "we'd never sell our garage." "Let's try a different idea," said Amelia Bedelia's father. He held up a new sign. "Is this better?" "No," wailed Amelia Bedelia. "This is worse. Yard sale. I love our yard, even more than our garage." "Okay, we will not sell either one," said Amelia Bedelia's mother. "We will just sell things we put in the yard." People began stopping to look. It got crowded fast. Amelia Bedelia's parents were busy. Amelia helped too. "Nice sewing machine," said the woman. Can you throw in a yardstick?" "Sure," said Amelia Bedelia. She ran behind the garage. There's a big pile of leaves and sticks there. She got as many sticks as she could carry. "Here you go," said Amelia Bedelia. "These sticks are from our yard. Pick one. I'll throw it in." The lady laughed. "I'm looking for a yardstick. That is 36 inches long," she said. Amelia Bedelia grabbed a tall ruler from a messy box of stuff. She used it to measure the longest stick. "This one is exactly 36 inches, she said. "Perfect," said the woman. "If I buy the sewing machine, will you throw in that ruler too?" "I will hand it to you," said Amelia Bedelia. "It's a deal," said the woman. She looked around the yard. "I'm making curtains," she said. "I will need yards of fabric." "Yards?" said Amelia Bedelia. "That's a lot of fabric. It'll cover up Mom's flowers." "The flowers are beautiful," said the woman. "I would love to buy some of her plants." "You can," said Amelia Bedelia. "My dad says we are weeding out everything in the yard for sale." Amelia Bedelia found a shovel. She dug up some plants for the woman. By the end of the day, everything was sold. Amelia's parents were shocked to see the holes in their yard. "Amazing," said Amelia Bedelia's father. "At our yard sale, even our yard got sold." Amelia Bedelia's mother sighed. "Who would buy the yard?" she asked. "A nice lady," said Amelia Bedelia. "She does everything by the yard." "Well," said Amelia Bedelia's mother, "my plants will grow back soon. I do like getting rid of clutter. It makes things easier to find." "The only thing I want to find is a pizza," said Amelia Bedelia's father. On their way to the pizza place, they passed another sign. "Garage sale. Tomorrow." And this time, Amelia Bedelia's mother did not say a single word. The end. What was your favorite part of the story? My favorite part of the story is where they got a garage sale and some of their yard, where they got a yard sale and some of their yard got sold too.